Hello, and welcome back to Avernum Escape from the Pit in the River Lethe series. We are on, I think, episode 4 now, and last time we got out of the initial starting area, we were attacked by some sort of thug, Lagrin, whom we defeated but did not kill. He escaped up the stairs into where we have just entered, an area with soldiers pointing bows and arrows and other such weapons down at us. We helped to escape some less fortunate, less prepared recent Avernites, and now we're going to see what happens when we meet whoever these guards are. So let's get right into the game. Oops, I don't want to start a new game. That's not what I want to do. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so here we are. It's telling us poison is dangerous and acid is worse. Well, that's good to know. I wouldn't have thought of that at all. Alright, so you can see we are surrounded by portal guards. Let's see what happens when we try and get out of this pit. You emerge from the dark tunnels, and your claustrophobia is immediately replaced with vertigo. You are in a fort with a gigantic cavern, within a gigantic cavern. The stone ceiling arcs hundreds of feet over your head. As your eyesight adjusts, you look around at the world of Avernum for the first time. You are inside what looks like some sort of fort. It is made of huge blocks of stone, roughly mortared together. Wood must be rare down here. Only the doors are made of it. There are a few odd trees nearby, more fungus than wood. Then, when your awe at this strange sight fades, you notice the warriors. They stand up around the lip of the pit you are in, weapons drawn. Some of them have bows pointed at you, ready to fire. As you prepare to defend yourself, a man comes running toward the lip of the pit from the south. "Stop! Stop!" he shouts. "Don't fire! Let me talk." So, the original area we were in apparently had a very low ceiling as cave goes, and now we are in a tremendous cavern. Think sort of like the Underdark in Forgotten Realms, I imagine. So, where is this person who wants to talk to us? I don't see any figure. Don't attack. Oh, here he is. Andrew. Let's go talk to Andrew. A small man runs towards you, waving his arms. His skin is incredibly pale in the strange light from the fungal ceiling. When he reaches you, he stops, bends over, hands on his knees, breathing heavily. When he regains his breath, he says, "Don't attack! I'm Andrew, the greeter. We are Avernites. We are here to welcome and help you." Let's go with this. All business. A thug named Lagrin just came out this way. Did you catch him? Andrew looks embarrassed. We tried. When he ran out, his face was covered. By the time we were sure he was the killer and not an innocent arrival, he had already fled. I was the one who defeated him. Andrew takes a step back and inspects you. You have the look of a warrior with some potential. It is good. With all the forces that threaten us, Avernum needs warriors like you. I'm sure he will be found. What happens to me? Well, your new life begins. Now that you have emerged, I have something to say to you. Yes? As Andrew speaks, the guards nearby watch solemnly. Each of them went through the same ceremony, the beginning of a new life. Andrew says, "On behalf of Avernum, I welcome you to your new home here in the darkness. Our lot is hard, but we are free of the crushing hand of the Empire. We offer you peace and aid, as long as you aid us in return." He smiles weakly. That's all. We have some aid for you. Then you can go out and start your new life." You called yourself the greeter? It is my task. I wait for the new arrivals, such as yourselves, and welcome them. He bows. Welcome to Avernum. Avernum? What does that word mean? In ancient times, Avernum was one of the names for the underworld. It was the place where souls were sent to be judged when their lives were over. Appropriate, yes? Tell me more about Avernum. Avernum is what we call this place. Countless miles of tunnels, caverns, and icy subterranean rivers. It is your new home, he smiles sadly. Why are you welcoming me? It's my job. I'm here to ease the considerable shock of being cast into the underworld, of course. So, welcome to the underworld. He pauses to think. Also, I'm here to say where you can get information about Avernum and supplies. I have another question. Andrew nods to you. Is there any other way I can help you settle in? He waits to see if you have more questions. How can you help me? We can provide two things for you here, supplies and information. Once you get to know where you can go and have a few coins to get yourself established, we send you on your way. Information is always useful. Farrell is the town sage. He lives and works in the building just a little bit to the southwest. He's a bit glum, but he does his job well. He will answer your questions as best he can. Of course, you should get supplies first. I can get supplies? To prevent certain problems, new arrivals are sent to Tor to get modest supplies to support themselves until they find work. He's in the building to the south. We found doing otherwise results in desperate, dangerous, and violent new citizens. This way, you'll have a fair chance. What you do with it when you leave here is your business. Can't I just stay here? That is a common question. I'm afraid not. This fort is small, and we already have all of the defenders we need. The rest of Avernum needs you. I have another question. Can I return to the surface? A common question. No. I would abandon any hope of ever seeing the sun again. The sooner you give up on that, the sooner you can begin to make a new life here. So we could here start to refuse, maybe show some resolve, or maybe some delusion. Sometimes those things are the same. Let's accept our lot in life and adjust to our new circumstances. All right, I will try to settle in. Andrew nods. I am pleased to hear it. Life here is hard, but it has its own rewards and moments of beauty. Help us, and we will help you. Do you need anything else? How can you help me? Yeah. I've already seen all this. Thanks, that's all for now. Okay, so we have escaped the arrival caves, and now we are in this fort, Fort Avernum. Let's explore around a little bit. So our people were to the south that we need to go see. Varen. This is an Avernite. There is an Avernite wandering around the streets of the fort, looking for new arrivals. He wears a jerkin of thick lizard hide. A bow of black wood hangs from his shoulder. The moment he sees you, he almost rushes to greet you. Welcome to Avernum, he says. I am Varen. You look newly arrived, and if you don't mind me saying, a bit aimless, I have an opportunity for you. What is this opportunity? The opportunity to fight for Avernum, so that we can all survive, and in return, you can gain what little renown and comfort is available in this dark place. Tell me more. He nods. A wise choice. You should go to Silvar, west of here, and meet the mayor. I have been sent to recruit people like you, and I think you will find the work to your liking. That is all. I will leave you to regain your bearings. He nods and walks off, looking for other potential recruits. Alright, looks like he's here to just harangue new people. Guard. Here's a sign. Can we read the sign? The sign says, by the proclamation of King Micah, there is no anarchy here. Those who harm others will be banished to the abyss or slain. So it looks like you can be banished from the area to which you were banished. The abyss, which sounds pretty bad. Let's walk up to here. The sign says Tor supplies. Well, we needed some supplies. Let's go in here. Tor says, I have something for you. Let us talk to Tor. There is a tall man sitting behind the counter, wearing bronze armor. Behind him is a large rack of crude stone and bronze weapons. He recognizes you as a new arrival in an instant. Don't recognize you, and I recognize everyone. You must be new. He rises and shakes your hand. You can see how desperately pale years down here have made him. I am Tor. I'm here to give you some supplies before you go on your way. Where do you get the supplies you give out? Some are sent here by the army, others are sent by the Empire. Sometimes they give us weapons and food and other things. We find them in the arrival caves with the new exiles. What do you do here? Well, sometimes I maintain the weapons of the guards, sometimes I guard the travelers going to Silvar, but I spend most of my time giving supplies to newcomers. What is Silvar? Silvar is the closest town to the west. A very good place to find work if you need it. You should go ask Therel about it. His office is the next building to the south. Do the weapons need a lot of maintenance? He looks back at them with disdain. Pretty crude work, huh? Good metal is rare down here. Tools to work it rarer still. And enchanted items? Pfft, good luck finding them. Magical items? They can be found? Sometimes. Some are made at the Tower of Magi. Also, when Avernum was first discovered, the Empire sent many explorers down here. A lot of them were killed, but their equipment remains. Such items are rare and valuable and precious, though. I wouldn't go hunting them. Better to live a peaceful life in one of the forts, I think. I have another question. Tor sits behind the counter. He occasionally looks back at the large rack of crude weapons, checking his inventory. Any other way I can help you, or will you be moving on? Can I have some supplies? Tor nods and makes some notes on a scroll made out of crude parchment and hands you a pouch. Some dried meat, a loaf of unappealing and slightly gray bread. This is the starting allowance all new arrivals are given to help them get established. We want you to become productive citizens of Avernum as soon as possible. Good luck to you. Looks like we've already seen all this stuff. Thanks, that's all for now. Okay, so we've seen Tor. Here's Dunbar. Let's talk to this guy. It's almost always a good idea to talk to everyone that has a name in these sorts of games, as opposed to just being guard. Dunbar. You see a worn and scarred middle-aged man. He has the thin, washed-out look you already associate with many years in Avernum. You hope your time here is kinder to you. He carries a potted plant and a shovel. He nods to you and sets down the pot for a moment. I'm Dunbar, he says. Welcome. What's your job? I'm the groundskeeper, and gardener, and fix-it man. I like the gardening best, but I do what they need. How do plants grow without sunlight? Not sure, but there's plenty of warmth and wet for them. There's volcanic vents everywhere, see? They make everything smell, and they're dangerous, but the warmth keeps us alive. Tell me about the plants. Well, we've bred some pretty weird plants down here. All sorts of mushrooms for food and fodder. Those weird twisted trees give what little wood we have, and so on. Mages make the plants, I grow them. You eat the mushrooms? Yes, and not much else. You'll get sick of them before too long, but they're food, and that's what counts. How do trees grow down here? Amazing, aren't they? The roots dig into the rock and the leaves absorb moisture from the air. They get light from the fungus above. I can't figure out how the scrawny things stay alive, but they do. I've never heard of trees like this. That's because they were created down here, by the wizards. They live in a tower to the south or something. All the wizards go there. They do all the standard weird stuff with demons and such, but they make plants too. Without them, we'd all be dead. I have another question. How long have you been down here? Hard to tell. Tough to keep track of years without being able to see the sun. Sometimes they say what year it is, but I don't see why I should believe them. They can't see the sun any more than I can. But a long time. Yes, a long time. Building, fighting, tending to my garden. He looks down at a vicious scar on his arm. I like the gardening the best. Thanks, that's all for now. Alright, let's go to the next building to the south. That is Therel the Sage, I believe. Office of Therel. New arrivals may receive guidance and reassurance here. Well, that's good to know. What up, Therel? No, I don't want to steal things. He says the Nephilim are coming. You see a slender, worried-looking man wearing the robes of a mage. Somehow, despite the crude surroundings, he is impeccably dressed. He sits behind a desk laden with books and scrolls. When you enter, he lets out a world-weary sigh. Another arrival. Another unfortunate. I'm Therel, and I can give you information so you can settle into the life here. Alas, the news is all bad. What can you tell me about Avernum? He grimaces. I'm here to help you, even if the help causes great pain. Help me? Well, every day or so, our benevolent overlords above hurl a few more souls into this hellish cesspit. Then they come to me, and I tell them just how bad things are. Normally I'd be cheery, but today I'm just not in the mood. Anyway, I'm here to give information. You want to know more? I will tell you what I can, but learning more about Avernum only leads to despair. I feel like I should voice this guy like Eeyore. You give information? Yes. For example, our lovely neighbors, the Nephilim and the Slith-Zurkai. Or on your chances for escape. Or on how you get supplies. Or on the local politics. The Nephilim you've heard of. There are many of them on the surface. However, until you arrived in Avernum, you've never heard of the Slith-Zurkai. So we ask him, what are the Slith-Zurkai? Lizard men. Only live below ground. Intelligent, powerful fighters, very magically talented. We've been at war with them for many years, and lately things have been at a stalemate. They live to the west. So, the Slith, as they are called for short, are another one of the races that you can eventually play in some of the latter games. And I think that's all that you can ever play are humans, Nephilim, and Slith-Zurkai. So we'll meet them a lot in this game, generally only in a hostile capacity, I think. Who runs things down here? Each town has a mayor. The mayors form a council. The council co-rules with King Micah, lord of our homey little pit. Micah lives in the Great Cave. To get there, go a ways south and a ways west. By the way, the council meets in the castle. It's a place you should know about. What is the castle? It's our pride and joy. We built a real castle of rocks, crude magic, and spit. King Micah lives there, orchestrating our desperate defenses. You should see it. It's reasonably impressive. It's in the Great Cave to the southwest. Another question. Where should I go? I hear you can fight. Avernum needs that to delay the inevitable. There are 2 settlements near here. Tell me more. Dovno is to the north. It's a farming community ravaged by Nephilim raids. You'd have better luck at Silvar to the west. It's the largest settlement nearby, and the mayor is always looking for warriors. I would go there first, I think, if I was a warrior, which happily I am not. Alright, so I think that's all we're going to get out of him. And I think we're going to end this this episode here. So we're going to save it up, and we'll start right back here in the next episode. So thank you for watching, and if you are enjoying this, remember please to like and subscribe. And until next time, I don't care what you do.